Welcome to the bedtime story time. It's time for a story about the Magic Mouse. As you recall, Magic Mouse moved into the treehouse in Mother Amal's garden, where the children had graciously invited it to live. Mouse being so small, so as never ever to be seen, and no one could tell if Mouse were a boy or a girl. Mouse said it made no difference. On this particular day, Magic Mouse received a call from back in time. It was from his old friend, the great dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex. Rex had called Mouse and said, "Please, Mouse, come. I want to be back among the living. I've been here for 29 million years in silence. I have to be out among people and enjoy myself." "I'm afraid it's impossible," said Mouse. "The day of the dinosaur is over. You can't be big and mean and violent and think you can have it your way. No, I'm afraid your life is nothing but a dead end. Please, Mouse, I'll do anything if I can come back." Well, Mouse said, "Anything?" "Well, yes, anything." "Well, what if we changed you? What if you were to become, I know, we will make you the world's first and only giant grape bush tree." "A grape bush tree?" "Well, yes, that way you can look like Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can sound like Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can be as large as Tyrannosaurus Rex, only you will be made up of grapes and your feet will be planted deeply in the ground so that when you feel like being violent, you won't be able to pull your feet up and step on things. Do you accept our offer?" And without much hesitation, Tyrannosaurus Rex said, "I accept," and the deed was done. And in a very short time, there in front of the treehouse in Mother Amal's garden was this giant Tyrannosaurus Rex made up of grapes. Oh, Mouse said, we must change your name also to Tyrannosaurus Grape, and you can be my friend and butler." Well, Grape was so excited, he could not stop talking. He just had not spoken for all these years, and he gossiped like the worst of all. And he said, "You'll never know what happened yesterday. But a dog's bark without a dog came by and was looking for a quiet place to rest." And Mouse said it could stay. But where was this dog bark going? He said it was going to Hong Kong to see what the Chinese had to say about life. Well, the dog bark didn't get very far, and the children looked at Grape and said, what purpose have you got? We're hungry. Can we have some of your grapes?" And Grape said, "Of course you may. I can feed you all. But you're too tall. How can we get up into you?" Well, Mouse said, "I solved that problem." And Mouse brought the green pretzel snake. This marvelous little green pretzel snake lived high in the branches of Tyrannosaurus Grape. And when the children gave it a pretzel, it went up, snared some grapes, and fed them. And the children were so happy, for in Angelville they had this giant dinosaur grape bush tree which loved them and could not be violent. And peace once again came to Angelville. Even though a great monster had arrived, it was taken out of its violence and brought into a place of peace and serenity. And all was well when suddenly there was a word going about that something had gotten through the tunnel that led to the path to the center of everything. And panic and pandemonium broke loose. The Emerald Twinkler came in, speaking upside down and backwards, and no one knew what to do. No one knew what to do. It was horrible. There was a monster who had gotten through the tunnel, and even this great Tyrannosaurus Grape could have saved them, but he was planted in the ground. And the children were sad, and tomorrow we'll find out what happened. But that's our story for today.
Hi, and welcome to Silicon Kids. I'm Melanie.
I'm Trisha.
I'm Nancy.
I'm Annie.
I'm Dale.
And I'm Sunil. On today's show,
Nancy, Sunil, and Dale visit the Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose. The museum is a fun place where kids learn by playing on the interactive exhibits. There are 11 different areas to explore. They also interview Karen McBride, the public relations coordinator of the museum. Then, special guest reporter, Pumpkin K9, gives us a dog's eye view of a special event she attended.
hope you enjoy our show. Sunil.
And I'm Dale.
And I'm Nancy, and we're with Silicon Kids.
We are at the Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose, located in downtown San Jose.
Come inside with us and discover the great exhibits. Inside the Children's Discovery Museum.
We finally have a museum of our own where there are no no-nos.
It is a fun place where kids learn by playing on the interactive exhibits.
There are 11 different areas to explore, so let's start exploring.
Silicon Kids visited the museum last year before it opened. Some of the creative developers of the various exhibits talked about their exhibits. Throughout our show, we will meet these people. Here is Kuhn, the creator of Waterworks. Youngsters will be able to pump water from a well by hand and take the water through a cycle like the Water District does.
The well's going to be over here. Then it's going to come, the water is going to be pumped up using the bicycle pedal power. We'll go through this series of filters, and then from there go to this manifold of valves where kids will be able to distribute the water to various parts of the rest of the exhibit.
My name is Mary Simon, and this is the Doodad Dump. It's a part of the Children's Museum where children can come into the room here and there'll be many materials available to them. These materials are all industrial discards that I've collected. So, for example, the sign companies throw away little pieces of vinyl stickers that the children can use as stickers. And there's many different other different types of material, pieces of sponge. So I collect it all together, and the children can come into the room and they can build sculptures with it. They can do whatever they want to with the art material. And there'll be glue guns and white glue available to stick it all together, and the children can take home what they make.
Hi, I'm Janet, and I'm the exhibit developer of this area called Step Into the Past. In this area, we're showing what Santa Clara Valley used to be like when it was known as the Valley of Heart's Delight. In here, we're going to have a lot of things that were very common at one time that are strange now for children, like rug beaters, hand scrub boards and hand wringers, clothesline with clothespins. We also have our tank house, and the children can go up there and see what it was like and get a different view from the tank house. And another thing that we want to portray here is when Santa Clara Valley had a lot of small family farms, and hopefully we will show that here.
take a rest on the swing on the old front porch before washing clothes the old-fashioned way. Dale is having fun with the clothesline. Now he is showing the kids how to use the grinding wheel.
This is a fun area using tennis balls. Here you use pedal power to get the balls to rise.
Here's a great exhibit to show off your creative talents.
Hi, I'm Tom Nielsen, and I work here at the Children's Discovery Museum as the electronics developer. And a lot of our exhibits that we're developing now have computers or electronic circuits that control them, and that's the sort of work that I take care of. Although I'm not always sure that the word work is the best word to describe what I do, it's really a lot of fun to have a job here at the museum. Because a lot of what you do all day long is just play with ideas that you think are going to be fun for other people to come and try out. So a few of the exhibits I've been working on to get ready for them are balance board, play around with the sense of balance, see if you can keep a little man there long enough to hear a song. We'll be working on some traffic lights that you can control and play around with the rhythms of traffic and see how the computers actually control the sequence of the traffic lights on a city street.
This is the Kids Care Clinic area. Oh no! Nancy is going to play dentist, and I'm the patient. What's that? What is she going to do next? Now where does this go? Does this go together?
This is the Global Communication Center. You can learn the sign language alphabet and Braille here. There is also an amateur ham radio station.
Nancy, answer the phone. Hello, is she there? was fun. I think I'll do it again. This is the underground area showing what under a street would look like. It even has a sewer structure.
If you get hungry, you can stop at the Kids Cafe inside the museum for some great food. Well, we have worked ourselves up to the second floor. What of you? Let's start exploring the second floor by visiting the Around the World, Around the Corner area first.
Christy May. I'm the developer of the multicultural exhibit, which is called Around the World, Around the Corner. And in this room, which is a large room, and is funded by Apple Computer, we're developing an exhibit based on two cultures, the Ohlone Indian culture and the Mexican culture. And corn is the special focus of our exhibit. We will hope that the children will come here and make their own culture, make it their room and their environment in which they determine what's important and what's relevant to them. Hopefully the children will gain appreciation of the Indian cultures and the accomplishments through this experience, interacting with nature and with other children, and at the same time in a museum environment that allows play and exploration with natural materials.
You can use natural blue corn, maize, to make your own tortillas. First you grind the blue corn. Then you press it. Then it gets cooked. Well, here's my tortilla I made. Looks good enough to eat. This is the Aztec wall. You can press clay on the wall to make impression. At this table, you can make dolls or figures out of corn husks.
This area is called Jesse's Clubhouse. You can move all over this climbing tower. You can create your own video effects. Let's crawl through these movable tunnels. I'm still in here. Hey,
Let's meet Karen McBride, the Public Relations Coordinator of the museum.
This is an interview with Karen McBride. Karen, how long has the museum been open?
We've been open since June of 1990, and we have seen quite a few people already. Since that time, we've seen over 200,000 people in the museum.
Whose idea was it to build a museum for kids?
Actually, the idea came from two local moms back in 1982 when their children were very young and they thought they'd like to find a place that would offer hands-on activities for children. And through their research, they found that there really wasn't a facility like this anywhere in the San Francisco Bay Area. So that's what really started the whole idea.
who paid for the building?
The funds from the building came from people like your parents, from me, from community groups, from different businesses, and also from the city, which donated the land that this building was built on.
Why is the building purple?
Well, you know, the idea for the building was that this is a very, very striking building. It's quite different in its design and obviously from what it offers. So the color had to be something that was dynamic and carried the same message of strength and curiosity that you would find inside the building. And so the first color that came out was a thought of that might even be pink. And then some different color choices were offered, and that's what the purple color grew from that.
Can anyone work here?
Just about anyone can apply to work here, and we have all kinds of opportunities for volunteers, for youngsters who are 8th grade and up to do volunteer work. For working here, we have opportunities to work on the floor and in the office, so anyone who's interested, certainly call us.
When is the building open, and is there a charge?
Yes, there is. There is a charge. It's $6 for adults and $3 for children. And we're open from Tuesdays through Saturdays from 10 to 5, and then on Sundays from noon to 5. During the summer, however, we're going to be changing some of our hours so that groups of children can come in on Tuesdays, and the whole day is reserved just for groups of children.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Well, thank you all for coming down and enjoying the day, I hope.
Don't forget to visit the museum's gift shop. They have some real neat things inside. Unfortunately, we weren't able to show you all the exhibits, so when you come to visit, don't miss the kids' post office and the kids' bank with safe deposit boxes and part of a huge bank vault door. There is also the Brandenburg Theater, where theatrical productions are performed for youngsters. Also, drop in to the makeup room.
Hope you enjoyed our visit to the Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose with us. Come visit yourself.
The museum has changing exhibits, so visit often, and there are always special events going on throughout the year. The Children's Discovery Museum of San Jose is located on Wallace Way off of West San Carlos Street in downtown San Jose. You can take the light rail or a bus to the museum.
Hi, I'm Pumpkin K9 with a special report for Silicon Kids. A while back, I attended an event where dogs and their two-legged companions got together for a benefit called Run for the Rescuers. This is a dog's eye view of the event for our dog viewers of Silicon Kids, but you humans may watch also. There I am, checking everything out. Unfortunately, we arrived late and missed the run, and many of our dog friends have already left, but let's wander around and see who's still here. This German Shepherd is one of the special guests today. He is a rescue dog who rescues people from dangerous emergency situations. He will show us what he can do later.
These are our own
personal dogs. We are a totally volunteer organization. So in other words, I could volunteer? If you were 18, yeah. Right.
And then you own the dog. You go through some kind of course that teaches you.
Yeah, we teach people how to do this.
This boxer is another special guest.
Yeah, exactly. You got the picture.
Exactly the way it works.
Who's going to be the one who's going to say work?
You just stayed right there with the dog.
When we get started, hey, Piglet, I would like to have.
Yeah, I like hot dogs.
Actually, three things. The other thing we want to have is use the box.
Okay.
Funny how she only reacts to certain dogs.
Okay.
Where the dog will find somebody.
That's all you need here.
Our special guest is getting anxious to show his talents.
The dog's cute. I know, he's cute too.
Ready.
This is what he does to me in the morning. He will nibble on my ear. Person gets back here.
That was great. You got rescued again, Ian.
Friendly. Here. Here.
How much after? Whoops.
Hey, now we see a pro at work. He is showing how he would save someone trapped.
There goes the lawn, Barbara. Well, in a disaster situation, in an earthquake, the dog isn't with you. You can't always see them. So they're trained to dig and to bark. And these dogs are both green. In another 6 months, they'll stand there, they'll just sit there and just bark their head off. They're like a tobacco dogs. We train them.
He is rescued again.
He says, look, I'm ready. Look, I'm ready.
And then they rest and you put another dog in. And in the wilderness, they work all day. So they have
I can't see.
Hey, I want some attention.
Oh, he's crybaby. Crybaby.
Turn around.
Since she was
Somebody maybe dropped a piece of their
burger there or something, see?
He's trying to find it for her. Oh, it might lick you.
She's a kisser.
Flats, 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 flats.
Oh my gosh, ribbon! He hid behind the couch. Those dogs are fast. Money here.
She's coming back to business again. They want to do a follow-up shoot on us in the next couple of weeks. I said, what? They'd like to see maybe a pet fair or maybe us.
Oh, please, people, don't forget to donate to help us animals.
I'd rather go do the poo-poo scooper myself.
Hey, pass the word. Get the humans to donate to animal causes.
What do you think of the reward?
You guys are going on.
Pointed out there, you got me going.
Yeah, I was thinking that was the Safeway was fire.
Right behind her. Nice dog. Smile, Jack. Smiling Jack.
Poor Jack is all tired out.
Here, get up and stretch. And you'll lay back.
Well, it's time to go home. But this guy doesn't want to leave. Well, hope you enjoyed seeing my friends. This is Pumpkin K9 for Silicon Kids.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please join us next time here on Silicon Kids.
Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This is the story of a pig named Wilbur and of Wilbur's dear friend, Charlotte Cavatica, a beautiful gray spider who lived with Wilbur in the barn. Also in the story is Mrs. Goose and the head sheep. By a wonderfully clever plan of her own, Charlotte the spider saves the life of Wilbur, who after all is some pig.
The day was rainy and dark. Rain fell on the roof of the barn and dripped steadily from the eaves. Rain fell in the barnyard and ran in crooked courses down into the lane where thistles and pigweed grew. Rain fell on the backs of the sheep as they grazed in the meadow. When the sheep tired of standing in the rain, they walked slowly up the lane and into the fold.
Rain upset Wilbur's plans. Wilbur had planned to go out this day and dig a new home in the yard, and he had other plans too. His plans for the day went something like this.
Breakfast at 6:30.
Skim milk, crust, middlings, bits of donuts, potato skins, leftover custard pudding with raisins, and bits of shredded wheat.
Breakfast would be finished at 7. From 7 to 9...
Wilbur planned to take a nap outdoors in the sun.
From 9 to 11, he planned to dig a hole
or trench and possibly find something good to eat buried in the dirt.
From 11 to 12, he planned to stand still and watch flies on the boards, watch bees in the clover, and watch swallows in the air. 12 o'clock, lunchtime.
Warm water, apple parings, meat, gravy, carrot scrappings, meat scraps, stale hominy, and the wrapper off a package of cheese. Lunch would be over at 1.
From 1 to 2, Wilbur planned to
sleep.
From 2 to 3, he planned to
scratch itchy places by rubbing against the fence.
From 3 to 4, he planned
to stand perfectly still and think of what it was like to be alive.
At 4 would come supper.
Oh, skim milk, leftover sandwich from Lurvy's lunchbox, prune skins, a morsel of this, a bit of that, fried potatoes, a little more of this, a little more of that, and a piece of baked apple and a scrap of upside-down cake.
Wilbur had gone to sleep thinking about these plans. He awoke at 6 and saw the rain, and it seemed as though he couldn't bear it.
I get everything all beautifully planned out, and it has to go and rain. One day is just like another, and I'm very young. I have no real friend in the barn. It's going to rain all morning and all afternoon. Oh, honestly.
And Wilbur was crying again for the second time in 2 days. At 6:30, Wilbur heard the banging of a pail. Lurvy was standing outside in the rain, stirring up breakfast.
Come on, pig,
said Lurvy. Wilbur did not budge. Lurvy dumped the slop, scraped the pail, and walked away. He noticed that something was wrong with the pig. Wilbur didn't want food. He wanted love. He wanted a friend, someone who would play with him. He mentioned this to the goose, who was sitting quietly in a corner of the sheepfold.
Will you come over and play with me? He asked.
Sorry, Sonny,
said the goose.
I'm sitting on my eggs, 8 of them. Got to keep them toasty, oatsy warm. I have to stay here. I'm no flibbity-ibbity-gibbet. I do not play when there's eggs to hatch. I'm expecting goslings.
Well, I didn't think you were expecting woodpeckers,
said Wilbur bitterly. Wilbur next tried one of the sheep.
Sheep, will you play with me? Certainly not,
said the sheep.
In the first place, I cannot get into your pen, as I'm not big enough to jump over the fence. In the second place, I'm not interested in pigs. Pigs mean less than nothing to me,
said the sheep.
Well, what do you mean, less than nothing? I don't think there is any such thing as less than nothing. Oh, be quiet,
said the sheep.
You'll play with yourself. I don't play with pigs.
Sadly, Wilbur lay down and listened to the rain. Friendless, dejected, and hungry, he threw himself down in the manure and sobbed. Darkness settled over everything.
You can imagine Wilbur's surprise when out of the darkness came a small voice he had never heard before. It sounded rather thin, but pleasant.
Do you want a friend, Wilbur?
It said.
I'll be a friend to you. I've watched you all day, and I like you.
But I can't see you,
said Wilbur, jumping to his feet.
Where are you? And who are you?
I'm right here, said the voice. Now go to sleep. You'll see me in the morning.
The night seemed very long, endless really.
Wilbur's stomach was empty, but his mind was full. And when your stomach is empty and your mind is full, it's always hard to sleep.
What time is it?
Whispered Wilbur.
To the goose.
Probably about 11:30. Why aren't you asleep, Wilbur?
Oh, too many things on my mind.
Well, that's not my problem. I have nothing at all on my mind, but too many things under my behind. Have you ever tried to sleep while sitting on 8 eggs?
No, I suppose it's uncomfortable. How long does it take a goose egg to hatch?
Oh, approximately 30 days, all told. But I cheat a little. On warm afternoons, I just pull a little straw over the eggs and go out for a walk. Now go to sleep, dear. You'll wake all the sheep if you're not careful, Elful.
Oh, I wish it were morning.
And finally, one by one, the stars went out. Wilbur could see the goose a few feet away now, and he could see the sheep. The sky had lightened.
Oh, beautiful day. It's here at last. Today I shall find my new friend. Attention, please. Will the party who addressed me at bedtime last night kindly make himself or herself known by giving an appropriate sign or signal?
The old sheep woke up.
Stop your nonsense, Wilbur. If you have a new friend, you're probably disturbing his rest. And the quickest way to spoil a friendship is to wake somebody up in the morning before he's ready. How can you be sure your friend is an early riser? Oh, I beg everybody's pardon,
whispered Wilbur.
I didn't mean to be objectionable.
He lay down meekly in the manure, facing the door. He did not know it, but his friend was very near. And the old sheep was right. The friend was still asleep.
At last, just as Wilbur was settling down for his morning nap, he heard again the thin voice that had addressed him the night before.
Salutations,
said the voice.
Salutations.
Oh, what are they and where are you? Please tell me where you are and what are salutations?
Salutations are greetings. When I say salutations, it's just fancy for saying hello or good morning. Actually, it is a silly expression, and I'm surprised that I've used it at all. As for my whereabouts, that's easy. Look for me here in the corner of the doorway. Here I am. Look, I'm waving at you.
At last, Wilbur saw the creature that had spoken to him in such a kindly way. Stretched across the upper part of the doorway was a big spider web, and hanging from the top of the web, head down, was a large gray spider. She was about the size of a gumdrop. She had 8 legs, and she was waving one of them at Wilbur in a friendly greeting.
See me now?
Oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. How are you? Good morning. Salutations. Very pleased to meet you. What is your name, please? May I have your name?
My name,
said the spider,
is Charlotte. Charlotte A. Cavatica. But you can call me Charlotte.
I think you're beautiful.
Well, I am pretty. There's no denying that. Almost all spiders are rather nice looking. I'm not as flashy as some, but I'll do. Now, watch me wrap up this fly that's stuck in my web. First, I dive at him.
And she plunged head first towards the fly as she dropped a tiny silken thread unwound from her rear end.
Next, I wrap him up.
And she grabbed the fly and threw a few jets of silk around him, wrapping so that he couldn't move. Wilbur watched in horror. He could hardly believe what he was seeing, and although he detested flies, he was sorry for this one.
There. Now I knock him out, so he'll be more comfortable.
And she bit the fly.
He can't feel a thing now. He'll make a perfect breakfast for me.
Do you eat flies?
Certainly. Flies, bugs, grasshoppers, choice beetles, moths, butterflies, tasty cockroaches, gnats, midges, daddy longlegs, mosquitoes, crickets. Anything that is careless enough to be caught in my web. I have to live, don't I?
Why, yes, of course. Do they taste good?
Delicious. Of course, I don't really eat them. I drink them, drink their blood. I love blood.
Don't say that. Please don't say things like that.
Well, you can't talk. You have your meals brought out in a pail. Nobody feeds me. I have to get my own living. And furthermore, do you realize that if I didn't catch bugs and eat them, bugs would increase and multiply and get so numerous that they'd destroy the earth, wipe out everything?
Really?
Said Wilbur.
I don't want that to happen. Perhaps your web is a good thing after all.
Wilbur liked Charlotte better and better each day. Her campaign against insects seemed sensible and useful. Wilbur admired the way Charlotte managed. He was particularly glad that she always put her victim to sleep before eating it.
It's real thoughtful of you to do that, Charlotte.
Oh, yes.
She replied in her sweet musical voice.
I always give them an anesthetic so they don't feel pain. It's a little service I throw in.
As the days went by, Wilbur grew and grew.
He ate 3 big meals a day. He spent long hours lying on his side, half asleep, dreaming pleasant dreams. He enjoyed good health, and he gained a lot of weight. One afternoon, the sheep said,
"Seems to me you're putting on a good deal of weight."
Wilbur replied,
"Well, yes, I guess I am. At my age, it's a good thing to keep gaining." "Just the same, I don't envy you. You know why they're fattening you up, don't you? I don't like to spread bad news, but they're fattening you up because they're going to kill you, that's why." "They're going to what?" "Kill you. Turn you into smoked ham and bacon." "Stop. Stop. I don't want to die. Save me, somebody. Save me."
"Be quiet, Wilbur,"
said Charlotte. "I can't be quiet,"
screamed Wilbur, racing up and down.
"I don't want to be killed. I don't want to die. Is it true what the old sheep says, Charlotte?"
"Well,"
said Spider, plucking thoughtfully at her web,
"the old sheep has been around for this barn for a very long time. She's seen many a spring pig come and go. If she says they plan to kill you, I'm sure it's true. It's also the dirtiest trick I've ever heard of. What people don't think of." Wilbur burst into tears.
"I don't want to die. I want to stay alive right here in my comfortable manure pile with my friends. I want to breathe the beautiful air and lie in the beautiful sun. I don't want to die,
screamed Wilbur, throwing himself on the ground. You shall not die, said Charlotte.
What? Really? Who's going to save me?
I am, said Charlotte.
How?
Well, that does remain to be seen, but I'm going to save you, and I want you to quiet down immediately. You're carrying on in a very childish way. Now stop your crying. I can't stand hysterics.
And so day after day, the spider tried to think of a way to save Wilbur. Finally, one morning in the middle of July, the idea came.
Oh, it's perfectly simple. The way to save Wilbur's life is to play a trick on the farmer. If I can fool a bug, I can surely fool a man. People are not as smart as bugs.
Charlotte quickly tore a section out of her web, leaving an open space in the middle. Then she started weaving something to take the place of the thread she had removed.
The next day was foggy. Everything on the farm was dripping wet. On foggy mornings, Charlotte's web was truly a thing of beauty. This morning, each thin strand was decorated with dozens of tiny beads of water. Even Lurvy, the hired man, who wasn't particularly interested in beauty, noticed the web when he came with the pig's breakfast. He noted how big and carefully built it was. And then he took another look, and he saw something that made him set his pail down. There in the center of the web, neatly woven in block letters, was a message. It said,
"Some pig." Lurvy felt weak. He brushed his hand across his eyes and stared harder at Charlotte's web.
I'm seeing things,
he whispered. He hurried to the farmhouse to call the farmer.
I think you'd better come down to the pig pen,
What's the trouble?
asked the farmer.
Anything wrong with the pig?
Not exactly,
said Lurvy.
Come and see for yourself.
When they got to the barn, Lurvy said, pointing to the spider's web.
Do you see what I see?
The farmer stared and then murmured the words, "Some pig."
Then he looked at Lurvy, and then he began to tremble.
Wilbur came and stood directly under the web.
"Some pig,"
muttered Lurvy. "Some pig,"
whispered the farmer, and walked solemnly to the farmhouse to tell his wife.
"Edith, something's happened. I got something to tell you, Edith, and you better sit down. I think you'd best be told that we have a very unusual pig."
What in the ever-loving, blue-eyed world are you talking about?
Oh, this is a serious thing, Edith. Our pig is completely out of the ordinary.
What's so unusual about that pig?
Well, I don't really know yet, but we received a sign, a mysterious sign. A miracle has happened on our farm. There's a large spider's web in the corner of the barn right over the pig pen. And right spang in the middle of that web are the words, "Some pig." The words woven right tight into the web. It says, "Some pig," just as clear as can be. A miracle has happened right here on our farm. We have no ordinary pig.
Well, it seems to me you're a little off there. Seems to me we have no ordinary spider.
Oh, no. It's the pig that's unusual, Edith. It says so. Right spang in the middle of the web.
Charlotte was right. People do believe everything they read.
You know,
said the farmer in an important voice.
I've thought all along that pig of ours was extra good. He's a solid pig. That pig is as solid as they come. You notice how solid he is around the shoulders, Lurvy?
Sure I do,
said Lurvy.
I've always noticed that pig.
He's quite a pig.
Charlotte's trick had worked. Wilbur wouldn't be killed in the spring. No, he was solid. He was long. He was smooth. He was some pig.
This is Lester Quibbles with my quibble for the day. My quibble for the day is frogs. Why are there frogs? Well, some people eat them. Actually, they just eat the legs. They throw the rest of the frog away, and what a waste. Let me tell you, frogs are very important. Frogs jump around. Frogs live in ponds where nothing else would live, and let me tell you, I wouldn't. Frogs grow from tadpoles, these little squirmy things that look like overgrown mosquito larvae. Yes, frogs are interesting, except the poisonous kind. Now, they don't have the poisonous kind here. They have the poisonous kind in the Amazon rainforest. And that may seem a reason to you why we should cut down the Amazon rainforest, but it's not. We should have frogs in the Amazon rainforest that are poisonous, and they should stay there, and we should stay here. Frogs are very important. Frogs are halfway between a fish and a mammal. They're amphibians. Amphibians mean they swim. Do you swim? Well, who cares? This is Lester Quibble with my quibble for the day.
Hi, children. George Washington here. Good to see all you children out there again. If you look real closely at me, you can see that my teeth are red. That's because they're made from redwood. I didn't take good care of my teeth, and look what it did to me. Now I have wooden teeth. Brush your teeth 3 times a day so you don't end up with wooden teeth like old George. This is George Washington talking to you. Remember, brush your teeth. See you again, kids. Bye.
I'd rather be me than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree.
I'd rather be me than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be free and live life in simplicity. I'll go out and find some wood and carve it into something good. I'll find a rock and beat the ground and listen to its beautiful sound. 'Cause I'd rather be me than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be free and live life in simplicity. I'll find some water and some dirt and draw some pictures on my shirt. When my mama catches me, I'll run right out and hug a tree. 'Cause I'd rather be me than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be free and live life in simplicity. I'll find a bug and watch it crawl, climbing slowly up the wall. I'll find some things and I'll make a house and have some tea with Magic Mouse. 'Cause I'd rather be free than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be free and live life in simplicity. I'd rather be me than watch TV. I think I'll go and hug a tree. I'd rather be me. I'd rather be free and live life in simplicity.
Most other magazines began to do the same exact thing that we had done. Essentially, we ended up 1996